Hey, what is up everyone? It's Rich. Alright, welcome to a video. I think I'm finally over my cold. There's like a little remnants left, but overall I feel way better. So I've been working away on my heavy metal story. It's going really good. Just plugging away. I've learned a lot, and I've been sharing a lot of information on my Patreon, but I thought I would do like an update video for YouTube, and then also I can drop a little knowledge. I actually had some really nice compliments on my Instagram this morning about being inspirational to people, and you know, maybe like how would you put it? Being like a good role model. A good role model as an artist, where you kind of see from the YouTube channel how driven you have to be. And to me, it's kind of natural. Like I think if I'm gonna do something, I wanna do it well and satisfy myself. I mean, there's like, I hate to use the word competition, but you know, look, the reality is, okay, like for me coming up in music, I mean, it's like when I was 15 and I was going to try out for the school band my junior year. Like in 10th grade, I just kind of went to my high school, and then I saw they had a school band. There was a couple of musicians that were really, really famous in my local area for doing bands like outside of school. It was very, very exciting, and my dream was to meet those guys and play with them. And so there was already someone doing what I was going to try to do in the band, so I had to audition. So there was a competition process, I guess you'd call it, to land that spot. There was only one person that was going to be playing bass in the school band. We had a full-on like orchestra, and they got to go to Hawaii and do all this cool stuff. And I tried out and I got it, but I had to practice all summer for it. But you know, it's the same for anything. Look, like if you want to draw, except if you want to self-publish, but like if you want to work for Marvel and you want to draw Spider-Man, well, guess what? There's someone already drawing Spider-Man. The only way you're going to get that job is you need to be competitive, and you need to be driven to at least be worthy of one of the 10 titles that they produce or whatever. But anyway, so a couple of things that I've learned doing my pages just in the last couple of days is you start to realize how important all the sketching that you've done is, and I'll explain why. Is there's so much incidental drawing that you do when you draw pages. No matter how well you prepare to draw the pages that you're going to draw, like say, for me, there's a certain environment that I have to draw. There's certain vehicles and weapons I'm going to have to draw. There's certain costumes I'm going to have to draw. It's like you prepare for all that as best you can. Like if something's specific, if you have to draw a SWAT officer, and you know you're going to pull up reference for a SWAT guy and go, okay, well, like they wear these kind of belts and da 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 da. But even beyond that, there's so many incidental things that you need to draw, and what ends up happening is they need to look like your style. Like somehow they need to assimilate into everything that you're sort of combining to execute the drawings that you need to do. A comic book page could have anywhere from one big splash page panel to 16 panels. I mean, it could even have more, but I would say the average would be 1 to 6 panels. And you know, you could have 8 panels, 10 panels, 12 panels, and there's going to be a lot of incidental drawings that you need to draw. So my point is, sketching is really, really good because it's going to create a very definitive language for how you freestyle things, and ultimately, like say you have to draw a crowd scene. You want it to look like your stuff. So the more that you sketch and you have sort of like this is how I draw girls, this is how I draw guys, I've got my varieties, and I can make them shorter or taller, thinner, longer, I can change the noses to make them look a certain way, or I can make the chin weaker or stronger, or the face can be more gaunt. You'll have all these variables that you can kind of put on your structure, but really at the end of the day, you want the stuff to look like your stuff. So it's very, very important, like as much as I'm working right now, and I'm doing real long days, like probably 13-hour days, because I'm penciling and inking the thing myself. I really am excited to be finished with this so that I can start incorporating some of the new things that I've learned, i.e., like for me, I just want to get really, really good at being able to just knock out people you know, faces, to doing different facial expressions. I'm fast at it now, but I want to get better at it. And then the other thing that I was noticing is, okay, like my first layouts went good. Like it felt pretty comfortable. It was sort of stuff that I was you know, excited to draw, and it all kind of fit into, we'll call it, my natural lane of stuff that I would want to draw. But like any story, there's layers to it, and there's different things happening in different places, and different people and characters pop up, and different challenges that you're going to need to draw. So what I found was, like, page 5, it was very, very difficult to lay out because of what I had to juggle in the panels. So the key to getting rolling on something like that is you should block out your time. And what I mean by that is sit down for 45 minutes on the front end when you're really, like, quote unquote stuck. You've read it, you have some ideas, but like the first couple of drawings aren't really hitting what exactly you want. Just like go on YouTube and stick on an album that's 45 minutes long and just sit and draw and lay out stuff unapologetically for 45 minutes and get down what you can. And what I found is, if I'm stuck on a panel, I'll start working on other panels. If I'm stuck on a drawing in a panel, I'll work on other drawings around it. And ultimately what happens is you start building up all these things that are more solid pieces. And what I found, really, like, the biggest revelation is, I always kind of thought that there was, like, a way that I would do a page, meaning, like, there was, I wouldn't call it a right way, but I think the assumption is when you look at someone that draws pages in comic books, that they, like, had this weird structure, or they planned the page to look like that from the beginning. And kind of what I'm finding is you do sort of orchestrate it, but what ends up happening is you just kind of throw the ideas up in the air, and stuff starts to fall into place, and then you start to build around it, and it's like these little puzzle pieces. And you don't necessarily have to start on puzzle piece 1. You like you don't need to do the border to fill in the middle. And so, you know, to produce, keep the things that are working that look cool, and then you start to work the things into it. And, like, you might have panels, you know, 2, 3, and 4 sort of peppered through the middle of the page, or going this way, or whatever they're doing, and it looks really cool. Well, now you kind of have eliminated, you know, 500 other things that panel 1 could have been, because you've already got these nice shots that flow through your page a certain way. So that's been a real eye-opener to me, because I always kind of thought that there'd be, like, a thing, like this is how I do pages. And what I find is the best way to do pages is to be like water. You want to flow with it. And yeah, that having that hour or two, it takes me anywhere from 1 to 4 hours. I do pretty tight layouts. I actually basically digitally paint them in a weird way. I mean, I go in with value and in Photoshop, and I take, like, you know, well, my brushes all have nicknames, so I take one that's kind of like a pencil tool with, like, a chisel, and I do almost like concept art, sort of like sort of strokey stuff, just to get shapes and exciting things. And then I use what I call Smooth Criminal, which is kind of more of a tapered brush, and I'll do more definitive lines with that, but I keep it pretty loose. And then any reference that I'm going to use, you know, I mean, you have to, you know, take that pretty seriously if you need it for things. Anyway, so yeah, make sure that you don't waste time, you know, like, don't get stuck and not do anything. There's always something that you can be doing, and if you feel like you're stuck on everything that's on a particular page, then my advice is to just sit down for, again, 30 minutes to an hour and just go for it and try anything and everything. And the little bits and pieces that you like, that's what you're going to keep, and that's what's going to help build the page. So it's worked out well for me. It was very, very difficult page to kind of wrap my brain around. And I think it's going to be a real nice page when it's done. So, and that's the other thing too, is you'll find when you're drawing pages, like for me, I pencil them. Well, my layouts are so sort of there that I can pencil a little bit less and then kind of refer back and forth to those two. But I would say my pencils, I don't fill in any of the blacks on them just because it's I've already done it in Photoshop with the painting tool, so I know where my values are going to be. But what I found is there's certain panels that are fun, like where you go, that's going to be a really fun panel to draw. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy or it's going to go fast. So I've done some panels that take, you know, 30 or 40 minutes to pencil, but then they take me like 4 hours to ink because I'm drawing so much while I'm inking. And what I'll do is, if I'm not sure what I'm going to do, I'll pencil it in more right before I ink it, and then kind of look at everything. And I do pencil the full page, and the reason being is I want the whole page to hopefully work as a whole. You know, and I think like if you're kind of working one panel at a time, you can work that way, but you kind of want to see how everything is going to interact. Then what I find is some of the harder panels actually kind of go faster. Like they were hard to figure out, but they're not necessarily hard to draw or hard to ink. I mean, it can surprise me, because I had two panels that were really, really challenging to like lay out and basically construct. but drawing them really wasn't that bad. I put a lot of black on my work, so that can be time consuming because there's all these little shapes. It's kind of like the Mignola thing, but amplified, like, you know, quite a bit with the amount of stuff that I put on the page. So I'm trying to work on simplifying too, because ultimately the reason that I want to get good at penciling is just to tell stories. I don't want to be someone that can only do, you know, 3 comic books in a year. I don't necessarily want to do monthly work, but I'd like to knock out like 8 really, really good comics a year, which would be like 120 to maybe like 160 pages worth of art. Somewhere in there, I think, would be a sweet spot where you're getting high quality, but I don't have to skimp on detail. So it's a work in progress, but I'm very, very optimistic that when I finish this, that there'll at least be decent sample pages, I think, for writers. I can already kind of sense, though, that because of the genre of the story and sort of the subject matter of the story, that it's not going to be something where I can just show those 10 pages. And I think that like it covers so much ground as a story that they'll go, oh, I could totally picture you drawing like this for us, or something like that. So I already kind of know that once I'm done with this, I'll have to do probably test pages for anything I'm going to try out for. But I still think that these pages will get a fairly serious conversation going, which is exciting. And in a perfect world, I'll ink Travel Foreman for a few more months. We want to do a thing together that would be sort of like combining our abilities, maybe in a very untraditional sense, from what it sounded like. So it wouldn't just necessarily be like his job is to pencil it, my job is to ink it. It might be like sort of a combination of like just like 2 artists working together to create a work. It sounds like a really, really cool idea, and surprising that more people don't do it. But who knows? You know, I think I've been real lucky to meet a lot of really, really talented and creative artists that you know, certain ones, I think, you know, I'm too close to it to really be subjective, but you know, I think like Travel to me is a really, really special comic book artist, and I take that seriously. You know, he's doing something that's uniquely his own, and he always kind of has, which I respect. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, all right, hopefully everyone has a great day. Feels good to be back on YouTube. I'm just really, really busy, but you know, I have that obligation to Patreon. So if you want more, I'm telling you, head over there. I can't stress this enough. Patreon people, without giving away too many spoilers, you know, let them know what's up in the comment section. Dude, my Patreon is slamming. It really is good. It's great. I think it's really, I think it's a very, very inspiring place for people. I really do. So for people that want more, go there. I think you'll really understand why. Okay, all right. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.